All right, guys. Breaking news. Breaking news. Shots have been fired at the White House. Press dinner. We got the footage right here, guys. Get the message out. Breaking news. All right, guys. Get the message out. This just happened. Guys, we got the footage right here, so let's go ahead and take a look. Let me get the news out here. All right, so I saw the video. Let's go ahead and take a look at the video here. Share the feed, guys. Here is the video of what just happened moments ago. Let me get myself out of the way here. All right, here we go. Look at that. They got shooters up there. Look at that. Wow. All right, we got all the lowdown here, guys. All right, we're going to give you the updates. Shots were fired. Turn this down here really quick. So they're saying we're just getting all the information right now. Shots fired. Here we're gonna go look at it again. Shots fired, confirmed at the White House Correspondents Association dinner. Why is it so loud? I'm sorry, I had to turn this down because it's just way too loud. Okay. So you saw what happened here. It says the suspect is reportedly in custody and the dinner has been canceled. This is unfolding as we speak. This just happened. This is right before it happens. Just watch this. You can hear the shots right there. You can hear the shots. The music stops. Everything stops. You can hear something going on in the background. Somebody has a gun. Not sure. They said shots were fired, but you can see Secret Service there with all their guns drawn. They jumped on the president. Somebody that was next to him looked like an Asian lady. Not sure who that was, but let's go ahead and watch that one more time. Melania is right next to him. You can see there. It's almost like you can hear some shots beforehand before they even recognize anything. And then you see this woman look up very like shocked in a certain way. She hears something. Watch. See, she thought it was a joke at first because she kind of laughed, but then she looked horrified. Like she looked at something like it was she was horrified, and then she looks at Trump with this fear in her eyes. Watch. You can hear like some kind of commotion. Almost like some kind. I wouldn't say it's gunfire, because if it was gunfire, everybody would have dropped to the floor. But watch. Listen for that thump. You can also see the camera shakes too. The camera is shaking. Watch this. Look at her face. She's at first she's kind of laughing at something, but you can hear some booms. Watch. All right, so we got some other footage here, guys. We got some other footage. Other channels are not getting some of this right now, but listen to what happened here. Let's go over to our Telegram page. All right, we've got some footage from CNN at the moment. Here we go.
Obviously, this is a total state of chaos right now in the ballroom, and we're seated maybe 50 feet from the stage where the president was up there, the First Lady Melania Trump. Security is telling us that everything's okay. There was a shooter? 1 second, guys. I'm literally. What happened?
We're trying to identify it now.
Where was the shooter?
Somewhere out there.
In the lobby? In the lobby? All right, control. All right, guys. I just want you to know this is not verified. We're just listening to what's happening right now. But we have security around us, and it's Secret Service because there's a lot of members of the administration here. The Secretary of Education is seated right next to me, and her security just confirmed that there was a shooter in the lobby. It's not clear where. Obviously, it's a very big hotel. In the lobby of the Hilton, they said he is confirmed dead.
What? So he's dead. I wonder what. Wow. So they're saying he's confirmed dead, whoever the shooter was. But you know what? I think those booms are actually gunshots that they're not hearing it. Trump and the people on the stage do not hear it, but you can hear it in the background. And you can hear, and then you see the camera kind of shake, because I think the cameraman knows. And then about 10 seconds later, you see everybody like, what? You know, like everybody gets like totally, completely shocked at what they're seeing. Watch this. See, right there, you can hear the shots. Let's go back. Just watch this part. Right, it's coming up. Right there. You hear that? You hear that? Listen, 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 right here. Camera shakes. I think there was a delay in the camera and the actual. There was a little bit of a delay, I think, and that's why it looked kind of out of sync. But I think that it was more synced up when everything. Okay, so we got some more news. We got some more breaking news. All right. Washington Hilton has been placed on lockdown with surrounding roads cordoned off due to the shooting. Supposedly, the shooter has been killed. That's what they've said. I don't know, in the lobby, but could there have been others? Okay, so we have some more video here. Let's see. All right, this is the same video. Same video. Gateway Pundit is now saying that Trump was rushed out of the White House Correspondents' Dinner after shots were fired and the shooter is down. Let's see. This is probably the same footage. Yeah, same footage. Okay, we're gonna get other video in, guys. So just hold tight. Okay, so for those who didn't see it, here we go. One more time. Okay, I'm just posting, guys. I'm just posting. We got some more footage here. Hold on. Hold tight. Okay, here we go.
We have heard absolutely nothing from her, nothing from any of her legal representatives, nothing from the DOJ. She has left us no choice. She didn't show up to her scheduled deposition.
Okay, so this is just outside the ballroom, I guess. The ballroom. Wow, the ballroom. Okay. Let me put this back up here. And for those who are just getting here, this was just what happened just moments ago. I think the video is out of sync with the actual booms. You can hear the booms. I think that's when the shooter was being taken down outside in the lobby. They were shooting him. You can hear about 4 booms. You see the camera kind of shake, and then you see the woman next to Trump shocked. First she's laughing, and then she's in complete shock. And then they all look in the direction of the lobby. So here we go, and we do got more information coming in right now, so just hold tight. All right, so now we have some other footage here we're going to show you guys.
Stay back, stay back, stay back. Wait for this side. Wait for this side. Wait for this side. All right. Nobody go this way. Is that understood?
We are evacuating. It's not someone coming in.
We're trying to figure out exactly where the shot was fired from. There's some talk that it was fired from the lighting box above the door that heads to the lobby. And we don't, as John was saying, we don't know if anyone was hit, but we're getting word that the shooter may have been hit. It happened so quickly that you heard this crash, and then the Secret Service ran in. The president was out in moments. And everybody went.
Okay, so now we're getting information that Fox News confirms that President Trump will return to the podium and the dinner will continue. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Seriously? Absolutely crazy.
Under the table. I mean, I'm talking the entire ballroom started to go under their tables. And the Secret Service started running, guns drawn. They had the CAT team out, and the president and the first lady were out, as well as the vice president, in a matter of seconds. But we're trying to get info about where the shot was. There's at least 2 people saying that they thought came from the light box above the doors to the lobby, and we're trying to get ground truth on that.
Okay, so we're going to go back to the live when this happens. All right, so, wow. Here's some more footage outside after it was happening.
Stay back, stay back, stay back. Wait for this side. Wait for this side. Wait for this side. All right. Nobody go this way. Is that understood?
We are evacuating. It's not someone coming in.
Obviously, I mean, this is a total state of chaos right now in the ballroom, and we're seated maybe 50 feet from the stage where the president was up there, the first lady Melania Trump.
Okay, then we have to stay here for now.
Security is telling us that everything's okay. The shooter, there was a shooter? 1 second, guys. I'm literally. What happened?
We're trying to identify it now.
Where was the shooter?
Somewhere out there.
In the lobby? In the lobby? All right, control. All right, guys. I just want you to know this is not verified. We're just listening to what's happening right now. But we have security around us, and
Okay.
it's Secret Service because there's a lot of members of the administration here. The Secretary of Education is seated right next to.
Okay, we have a live feed here. You guys, we have a live feed right now. So we're going to get a live feed going on right now. So just hold on. Let me get this live feed. Let's see. Here we go. Let's get this up and running. This is live.
His perspective of what happened when this all went down this evening. Numerous people have been filing out and don't appear that they are going to go back in. We heard from Weijing that they will proceed tonight. However, folks have left and they don't intend to come back. So we'll see what the attendance looks like if indeed they continue with tonight's program.
Greta, thank you. Stay on the line. Mike Dubke, you called it sounds like, when you talked about the measuring of the teleprompter and the seal, because it sounds like the president may be coming back.
I am going to be highly surprised if the president comes back, but, just as he performed in...
I won't, because it's all part of the whole plan. This is, like I said, fight, set up the whole op, make sure everybody, this is how to get everybody on board, guys. I expected something big to happen today. I wasn't sure if it was going to be the actual war. They need to get people's sympathy back on track, because there's too many people that are off the Trump train right now. This is the way to do it.
There is a hierarchy in Washington when it comes to emergencies such as this, and you also heard, the service protects the principles, and sometimes spouses get left behind, and it's a terrible, terrible thing that happened, but the security performed the way they needed to.
And Greta, we will continue to check in with you if you find anything else outside of the Washington Hilton. But let's check in with John McCardle. John is still in the ballroom. John, you're on the phone with us, correct?
I can hear you.
All right. What do you got for us?
Peter, so we've turned our camera around 180 degrees. Before you were looking at me towards the emptier side of the room. You can see behind me that most of the room, most of the reporters and the folk here are still waiting around. The folks sitting at the door when the Secret Service initially came in and said, everybody out. Yeah, Peter.
John, just keep your head still, because you break up every time you turn your head. So just look at the camera, okay, and just talk to us.
So, Peter, behind the stage, obviously, so this side of the stage from what you're, as you said, they haven't taken the president's plaque off the podium, and there's been some movement on stage. There's been no movement, I'll say, at the dinner tables. There have been some of the wait staff that has come out and removed the salad course. I don't know if that means they're going to continue serving with the course, but if they're doing that, it's maybe a sign that they plan to continue with the dinner, and we're just watching what happens here.
Yeah, okay. Karen Bohan, listening to all of this, I mean, what would you be doing as a journalist right now if you were caught in that room, or would you have gone to the bureau, gone out of the room?
So I would have stayed in the room, because, in the room is where you're going to get probably more facts and find out what happened. One of the things that a lot of journalists are doing is, I'm sure, talking to people who might have been in other parts of the hotel where they might have seen something happen, because the noises that we heard were muffled, and figuring out exactly where they came from.
Yeah, and again, I'm looking at the CNN banner saying that Trump is safe after shooter in custody at Correspondents' Dinner, is what CNN is reporting. I haven't seen any further news beyond that, but it was...
Okay, we have some more news here. Like I said, we usually get news pretty quick here. All right, so... Okay, here we go.
Let's watch what happened again. And that's what happened about 45 minutes ago. Now back to the live ballroom. Let's see what's happening up there. Nope, people are still talking on the phone. Nothing is moved yet. John McCardle, any update for us?
Peter, it's literally a lot of waiting right now, trying to figure out what to do. The reporters in the room obviously don't want to leave. It's just kind of the nature of reporters who want to see what happens. And it's a lot of checking phones, checking in with family members, people asking if they're okay, people asking if other people have information. But like I said, there's also people popping some of the bottles of wine that hadn't been opened yet. I think people trying to relax after an obviously stressful time just about 45 minutes ago.
John, first of all, have you called Laura? Have you contacted your wife to let her know you're okay? And B,
yes, Peter, thank you.
And how stressful was that for you? I mean, how much stress did you feel? Did you have a fight or flight response?
No, Peter, it's what the heck is going on? We were talking about it afterwards. I thought a table got tipped over at first. It wasn't a distinct pop, 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 pop. It was more of a bang, 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 bang. I don't know if that makes sense, but it wasn't what I expected. What a bullet sound would sound like. But apparently it happened through the doors and upstairs. So maybe that's part of the muffling from what we heard in the room, which is why everyone's reaction was, I think, a little bit slower of was that what we thought it was?
Hey, yeah, John, talk to that. Greta told us that this happened in the lobby of the Washington Hilton Hotel, and the ballroom is like 2 levels down, 1 level down?
Yes, it's about 2 stairwells down. You come into the lobby. You saw where our red carpet coverage was, Peter. That same floor is the lobby area. You go past where the red carpet was. You take a left. You go through magnetometers, dogs, I would assume bomb-sniffing dogs, that sort of thing. We had to go through all of that in the lobby. And then you go down 2 levels, and that's the height of this room that you can see to get to where we are, which is why cell service isn't great down here. But if this happens...
And, of course, right there...
Yeah, this guy just keeps cutting out. But anyways, guys, so what's happening here, I think, is an event that had to happen. The American people need some emotional encouragement to get behind what we're doing, because we're about to see World War III break out if Trump does what he does. If he stays back, he's kind of damned if he does and damned if he don't. He already pushed the envelope so far that there's no backing out. We're literally committed. And he's going to look terrible if he tries to back out. And if he goes forward too hard and brings nukes or massive destruction to critical infrastructure, it could also be really bad. Now, it's going to be a long, drawn-out, protracted conflict that's probably going to be incremental and continued to get worse and worse. But there had to be something big, and I was expecting it within the next 24 hours. Something big had to happen. Now, this is probably going to come out that it was an Iranian-backed. How much you want to bet? The Iranians somehow were behind this, or Iranian sympathizers, or somehow connections to it's almost. Now, is Trump going to be back here to speak? What do you guys think? Is he going to come back? It looks like they've got everything set up. This would be just like the fight moment, stand up, even in spite of the fact that you don't know if there's any other shooters out there. Just let the president get up and, put his head up and his hand up in the air when there's a possibility that there could be other, nothing has been confirmed, but yet it just seems like that was the iconic Iwo Jima moment. Here's another moment of, national sympathy and, let's just get behind this poor beleaguered, this president that's under fire constantly. We have to support and get behind. Okay, this is what I think this is. Now, obviously, if this, I'm not saying it's staged, but it could be. I'm not saying it couldn't be. It could be. It couldn't be. What do you guys think? Some people would speculate that this was staged. For the purpose of what? A very big resurrection in the poll numbers? Needing that kind of sympathetic agreement to continue to go forward into Iran? And you could make the argument on either side, if the way you see it, your bias is going to go full board with what you're already committed to believing, because you have to be confirmed in your position, and everybody's wanting to. Now, what's important is that you hold to what's true and what the real motivation and the real facts are. That's really what's important. But a lot of times in war, you have what they call the fog of war, just like the Reichstag. The whole Reichstag thing galvanized the German people behind their leader to go forward with the exploits that he ultimately committed against the whole of Europe. And I'll just tell you this: a huge portion of the public was behind it. They were, especially the church. The church was behind it. Everybody was behind it. You don't see, if you ever see that iconic picture of some of those rallies during World War II, you see everybody's got their hand in the air. You know how they did that hand in the air kind of thing? A sea of people have their hands in the air, all in agreement at these great rallies. He was really big about having rallies all the time. Rallies. But there was one guy in this iconic picture, one guy who didn't have his hand up. Obviously, he was an objector, but that's the percentages. You've got a few people, very few, that understand and see what's really happening. They called it the confessing church, the very small minority of church leaders that didn't go along. Not to mention the public at large. The whole public went along with it, but I'm going to just tell you, sympathy. We all have sympathy. Yes, it's a terrible thing, but I'm sure Trump's going to come back. He's going to put his fist up in the air and he's going to say, fight, fight, fight. How much you want to bet he's going to come up on the podium and he's going to say, fight, fight, fight? Okay, if I was making bets on that poly market, I would say there's a good chance Trump is going to get up on the podium and he's going to lift his hand and he's going to say, fight, fight, fight. How much you want to bet? Because that's a rallying call. That's a rallying call. You watch. He'll do it. Watch. I just see fight, fight, fight. Watch. Let's see if it happens.
Side. The helicopter that was circling seems to have left. The police force, though, is still here. I mean, there are ambulances and there are fire trucks and there are police vans, police cars.
Are you in a position, Greta, to see the motorcade coming up Connecticut?
I am not.
Okay. All right.
I'm not. I'm heading toward Connecticut right now, but
Okay.
I've been on the backside of the Washington Hilton.
And the White House is now confirming that the president is coming back to the Washington Hilton. So there will be some type of a program this evening. John McCardle on...
I can't wait. How much you want to bet he gets up there and says, fight, fight, fight?
I'm hearing what you're hearing. Actually, what I had heard from some of the folks in the room is that the president didn't actually leave, that he does want to come back, and that he's still somewhere in a secure area. Here, again, that's part of what's happening in the room. I'm also joined by Jasmine Wright. C-SPAN viewers know Jasmine well. Jasmine, do you want to talk about what you know at this point and what you've heard?
So what we know is that we were seated on the upper rim of the ball, and we heard a succession of pops. It sounded like we saw pops get down to the ground, and after the shots went out, she looked at us, and I saw my coach and he had to be up in evacuated. So I was second up, being quick timing. Secret Service moved to remove Jem from the ground, and then we saw them trying to basically climb over the space.
Right.
It's supposed to see the room. The thing is, we're seeing some on the ground, really questioning what was happening with them.
Why can't they talk to somebody that has cell phone reception? We can't hear you.
I talked to one administration. So the first thing that they heard, they were seeing closer to the stage, was the sound of running.
John, hold that microphone closer to Jasmine.
But you saw the Secret Service agents climbing under the table, trying to remove the captain officials. Secretary of HHS, Robert.
This isn't worth it.
Yeah, it's not working. Hello, it's not working. He goes, it's not working. Yeah, it's not working.
But it both felt like it happened so quickly, and also it took a lot of time because of the position of the table.
Have you gotten any information more than we've heard from Wei Zhejiang about this continuing. What we know was the announcement saying this will continue in some way, and we've also heard that the president wants to come back.
Some say that he's going to come back. But obviously, I think the one administration official still left in the room tonight who said that whether or not he does come back, because it's conservative, they believe that he wants to come back because it's about his third assassination attempt, and this would be a moment for his president, Joe America, to get his team back. The question is whether or not he's going to back in the room.
John McCardle.
It would be like.
Anyway, they're losing their whole audience, and they're messing up my stream by playing this garbage. So he's sitting there now. I think it's time to stop the person from talking because we can't understand a word she's saying for the last hour. Anyway, fight is exactly it, CS Drive. That's what's happening. They're going to do the fight thing. How much you want to bet? Okay, so let me give you some updates. So they're saying here, They say that the shooter at the White House Correspondents' Dinner has been apprehended. Now, I heard he was shot dead just a minute ago. This was what CNN was saying, and now they've changed. So the media has no clue who invited Kash Patel to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. So he's at the Correspondents' Dinner, Kash Patel. Here is that. What the heck's he doing there? So Kash Patel is literally at the Correspondents' Dinner right now. Kash Patel is at the dinner. What? You got to be kidding me. Look at this. There's Kash Patel right here at the dinner, at the Correspondents' Dinner. Look. So what's he doing there? Isn't he supposed to? Is he a correspondent? What's he? He looks kind of like nervous too. He's looking around. I wonder if this is something that. This was 7:54. Let's see what that was a clip. Let's see. This is live right here. Let's go back to the live one here. This is 7:55, and. Okay, so that was 2 hours, 7, 8, 9. That was an hour and a half ago. So that clip was before the shooting. So this clip here was before the shooting, supposedly. This was before the shooting. See, 7:54 p.m. up here. And then you got this one here. It's 9:23 p.m. here. And this is a live feed here. This is a live feed, 9:22. As you see right there. So that was Kash Patel. Kash Patel was in the audience, the FBI director. What the heck? All right, so something else is going on here. Something else is happening. Okay, so, we got more footage, guys. We got more footage here. Okay, so this is AG Pirro. You know who that is, Pirro, right? AG. What? I'm at the Washington Hilton. I've been taken out of the main ballroom after the sound of gunshots fired. The Secret Service is now in charge of this building and this hotel. Let's listen.
This is an event that takes place every year. President is attending as president for the first time, but he is not the first president to do so. So, what happened here, has to be of a huge amount of concern.
Yeah, it looks like they, even when they took him off the podium, that they put him on the ground to begin, at least covered him there. They didn't know what was happening.
Right. All right. So, okay, sorry about that. Did I not have my mic on? Okay, so here's Gene Pirro. Let's go ahead and look at this clip here. Let me turn this down really quick so we can hear it. So this is Gene Pirro. And she's, is she the AG? Okay, here we go. Let's listen in and see what she had to say. Oops, wrong one. Okay, here we go.
I'm at the Washington Hilton. I've been taken out of the main ballroom after the sound of the shots fired. The Secret Service is now in charge of this building, this hotel. I just spoke to Mayor Muriel Bowser. She is on her way, and Chief Jeffrey Carroll is on his way. He will be in charge as soon as he gets here.
Okay, so that was Gene Pirro. Now, there's something else we have here. Look at this. This is scenes, what the scene looks like in Washington, D.C. right now. Sorry about that. So lots of police activity, it looks like. Okay, and then we've got this.
I have been in touch with top officials at the White House. This is what I can tell you. And the details are actually pretty specific now, that the shooter charged the magnetometer closest to the front door, took a shot at a uniformed division service agent. And he, at that point, they don't know whether they haven't confirmed if he's alive. Yeah, the shooter is in custody, I'm told, at this point. Everyone is okay. And the last thing I can tell you is that, the White House does not want him to go back, but I'm sorry, what? I'm having a hard time hearing. And anyway, the president does want to go back. The shooter took a shot at a Secret Service member just at the ballroom, which, Kevin, you raise a good point. How did he get it to that point? The agent returned fire. Nobody knows for sure at this moment whether he's alive or dead. And then it's created chaos in the room. But what we can tell you for sure is that this was, one shot, multiple shots at the closest magnetometer closest to the front door, and took a shot at a uniformed division Secret Service agent. And anyway, at that point, we don't know the condition of him for sure. We do know the president was escorted to safety. Everybody in the room, I'm told, is safe and secure.
Okay, so we got some more here. It says, I think they had this happen because they're more believable, all the journalists. So this is what wait. Well, so the White House press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, before the White House Correspondents' Dinner, there will be some shots fired tonight in the room. What? She said this before the actual ball. Listen to this.
Ready to rumble, is he not?
He is ready to rumble. I will tell you, this speech tonight will be classic Donald J. Trump. It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room. So everyone should tune in. It's going to be really great. I'm looking forward to hearing it.
I love it all. And you wrote
Say what? Say what? She says there's going to be shots fired in the room tonight before it actually happens. You got to be kidding me. All right, let's listen to that again.
Ready to rumble, is he not?
He is ready to rumble. I will tell you, this speech tonight will be classic Donald J. Trump. It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room. So everyone should tune in. It's going to be really great. I'm looking forward to hearing it.
I love it all. And you wrote most of it, you said.
I can't take credit. In true Donald Trump fashion, the man puts his pen to the paper himself. So it's a lot of his own work.
Okay. That's pretty bizarro. That's pretty bizarro if you ask me. Okay, so it says they're really trying to do ratings up for, they're definitely trying to get the ratings up. Okay, so Trump tweets. So he's tweeting right now. So here's a Trump tweet. We got Trump tweeting. Let me pull it up on the screen for you. My goodness, you got to be kidding me. Let me just pull it up here really quick here. All right, here we go. Here's a Trump tweet. quite an evening in D.C. Secret Service law enforcement did a fantastic job. They acted quickly and bravely. The shooter has been apprehended, and I have recommended that we let the show go on. It is a show. It definitely the greatest show on earth. Let the show go on, but will be entirely guided by law enforcement. So he's basically saying he's going to let them decide. They will make a decision shortly. Regardless of that decision, this evening will be much different than planned, and we'll just plain have to do it again. Oh, so maybe he agrees it's not going to go forward. Maybe it's too dangerous. Maybe there is something there that is quite out of the norm. I guess we're going to find out. Very interesting, huh? Very interesting. Okay. So let's go back over here. What is this here? Okay, so this is the, I think this is the feed here. Let me see. Yeah, they're showing his tweet right now on the main channel here. So let's go ahead and listen in and see what they're saying, and I'll pull up some more info.
Stay on message, and they don't wade into certain topics. And this president is somebody who speaks his mind anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah, I don't know who's more frustrated with the social media. I think the White House Communications Department is, because it's very difficult to keep your principal on message when he has a direct access to the American people and the world.
Well, you're looking at live pictures from the Washington Hilton Ballroom. It looks like things have settled down there a little bit. People are resetting and resitting, and we'll find out what's happening. The podium, the teleprompter is still up. The seal is still on the podium. John McArdle is in the ballroom. John, what do you got for us?
Peter, do you have me?
Yep.
It seems like, there's been two announcements since you've been talking to take your seats. The program is going to begin momentarily. And so reporters in the room, everybody who's left in the room at this point, have been asked to start to take their seats. It's starting to get a little bit quieter in the room, but we're expecting some sort of stage presentation within the next few minutes here, Peter.
And John,
he's going to speak.
Presentation, do you think the awards, maybe the president speaks right off the top here? And what about, God, this is mundane, food service? Has that ended at this point?
I have not seen the waiters come out. Since some of them were removing some of the salads earlier. In terms of what the program could be, I mean, I would imagine that the Wei Zhejiang will try to give some details. They've said a couple times now, we know you want to know what happened. We'll have more information for you. It seems like the president wants to say something. Peter, do I think they're going to go with a full program with the awards and, all the media and O's? I don't think so. But I think they want to do something. This is a celebration of the First Amendment. This is, the freedom of the press and the freedom of the press not being intimidated by what's happening with somebody who wants to do violence. I think that is now the priority, or I would guess that's the priority of the folks at the White House Correspondents Association right now.
All right. Thank you, John. We'll be back with you shortly. Kieran Bohan, when something like this happens, is there natural sympathy toward the attendee in this case?
So I think it does change the tone. I think going into this, reporters were sort of poised for an uncomfortable evening in which the president would have choice words for reporters. I would expect that Weijia will still emphasize the First Amendment and freedom of the press. I don't think her remarks will change that much. But it definitely changes the tone.
Mike Dubke, again, we mentioned this a little bit earlier, but how do you see the currently written speech changing? Is somebody from the print shop on the laptop right now and just rewriting this
there's
thing?
an opportunity, frankly, here for the president to...
All right, so I'm going to show you guys some more footage here. This is just coming out. This footage here is right after it happened and the Secret Service come out. Look at this. Let's play that again.
I think we're well protected.
Stay down,
Katie, do you have all your stuff?
Yep, I'm fine. Go.
Stand by. Yes, sir. Go to your right. Go to your right. Let's push out back there. Yeah.
Something's happening at the Correspondence Dinner. They just cleared out President Trump. And the room, oh my God, look, they just cleared everybody out. What in the hell? What? Oh my God.
All right, so that's interesting footage there. I haven't seen any of that yet. This is just coming back from the back channels. Some of the footage that happened right as it went down. This here was really interesting. This footage here.
I think we're well protected.
All right, so we can get back to the other feed here. I'm just kind of curious what they're saying here. Oh, this is the woman that was shocked. Oh, okay, so this is live. Okay, so.
Because when there is an emergency, we run to the crisis. not away from it. And on a night when we are thinking about the freedoms in the First Amendment, we must also think about how fragile they are. I saw all of you reporting, and that's what we do. So, thank God everybody is safe. And thank you for coming together tonight. We will do this again. Thank you.
Well, with that said, it looks like we'll be hearing from the president in about 30 minutes. And in that meantime, we do want to hear from our viewers as well. We're going to put the numbers up on the screen. 202 is the area code. 748-8001 for Republicans, 748-8000.
Okay, so I guess they're going to be taking comments and stuff. We're going to just kind of take a look at what else is happening. Let me just turn on some of this stuff here. I'm just posting right now. What do you guys think? I know they're going to be speaking. Trump's going to be speaking here in any minute, and it's going to be interesting to hear how this goes down. And I really do see there. To me, this would be this is a perfect layout for galvanizing and rallying the troops, and having an invisible buffer of criticism. So who's going to criticize Trump right now? Right? None of these press are going to do that now. At a time like this, are you kidding? This is a crisis. A crisis that just has unfolded, and we're going to sit there and we're going to be critical of the president? Are you kidding? That ain't going to happen. Not at a moment like this. This is a critical moment. So I'm just making sure that we have all this footage here. All right, let's put on and listen what they're
The
saying.
White House Correspondents Association president in 2011-12. Does this take about a week to put together?
It takes months. Yeah. It literally takes months.
After tonight's dinner, would they start planning next year's already?
Yeah, immediately after. In 2011, I immediately began planning for the dinner in 2012. That starts with finding the entertainment, which presumably doesn't have an issue there because presumably Oz Perlman would return for that. But all of the logistics around the dinner, you're talking about an event with 2,600 people and all of that security and all of the news organizations that participate.
Well, another True Social post by Donald Trump. Law enforcement has requested that we leave the premises consistent with protocol, which we will do immediately. So it sounds like he is still at the Hilton. I will be giving a press conference in 30 minutes from the White House press briefing room. The First Lady, plus the Vice President, and all cabinet members are in perfect condition. We will be speaking to you in a half an hour. I have spoken with all the representatives in charge of the event, and we will be rescheduling within 30 days. President Donald J. Trump. Mike Dubke, as the Trump interpreter, what does that say to you? What is that? Did he type that one as well, do you think?
I will say the line that he typed are in perfect condition. That is Trump language there. The rest of this was probably crafted by the press team. He went through with his Sharpie. He edited it down. He made sure that he wanted to convey that thought. But there are some Trump-isms in that True Social. That's how it would have been.
In perfect condition is a Trumpism.
I would, if you're asking me my expert opinion, that's what I would say.
All right.
Yes.
One more time before he has to exit the ballroom. John McArdle is at the Washington Hilton. Mr. McArdle, any updates that we don't know yet? John is not in the ballroom, or if he is, he cannot hear us. But let's take a couple calls from our viewers, see what their reaction is to this. And we'll take those calls right after. One more time, let's replay the events of now about an hour and a half ago. And this is what happened, and this is what caused the tumbling of events. Let's watch. And that was about 8:25, 8:25. This Wei Zhejiang put her hand to her mouth, but then we saw the covering of the president. They didn't necessarily take him out of the room. What were they doing?
They were making sure that he was removed from being a target of whatever the noise was, whatever was happening there, assessing the situation to make sure that they could get him up and move him out. It was, again, I hate to keep referencing this, but we saw a very similar action in Butler, and you've seen this with other presidents as well, where they make sure that he is protected by a body, in this case, of a Secret Service agent, and then when it's safe to move him out quickly.
Yeah, and it looks like the journalists now, Karen Bohan, are being escorted out. It looks like the room is actually starting to empty a little bit. Yeah.
Back to the dinner and how difficult these items are to put on. I would not be surprised, and I'm saying this now on C-SPAN, maybe they're listening. They could erect a tent on the South Lawn. It would solve the security issues and have a barbecue for the press.
Yeah. I mean,
what would you think about that?
Well, I'm not sure a barbecue is really what you do with
Gavin, sorry to interrupt. Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt you, but I don't know what's going on right now. But Secret Service is sprinting over and acting like there's another developing situation. I mean, behind me, everybody just sprinted down a flight of stairs. I mean, you could see the amount of cameras that are here. It's hard to tell what's going on, but again, like I say, this is a tense, active situation. Anybody saying that it's over and, all is well, wrong. Because here, everybody is freaking out and, cops just sprinted down the staircase. What's going on? I have no idea.
Yeah. Were they running in the direction?
Okay, guys, this might not be over. This might not be over. Maybe that's why President Trump was not allowed to go back. This happened after. So something else is still ongoing. Something else might still be going on here, guys. What's going on here? Let me see what's going on, because this is panic that second Trump shooter as Secret Service sprint like there's another developing situation. Okay, so there might be something else going on. That's why Trump is not coming back. He had planned to try to come back, I think, and he wanted to come back, but there's a new shooter, another one, it sounds like, or something else is going on. What is going on here, guys? What is going on? Okay, so I was uploading something. That's why that we had a little bit of a problem. The stream had a little problem here, but we're okay now. I wanted to make sure I uploaded this content, this other content here. This was the footage that we just showed you here. let me get this. If you want to see this on the main channel there, go to our YouTube channel. I mean our Telegram channel. Okay, so they have footage of the actual shooter. There's the footage of the shooter laying down. It looks like he's cuffed. Let's see what else we got here. So this is what it says. This is what Trump just tweeted. Law enforcement has requested that we leave the premises consistent with protocol, which we will do immediately. I will be at a press conference in 30 minutes from the White House press briefing room. The First Lady plus the Vice President and the cabinet members. I mean, I thought it was kind of weird that they're all there. You know, you're not supposed, this, especially in a time of war, you don't have all of your top people in one room. That's not something that happens. You don't put Hegseth was in there. I saw Hegseth in there. I saw Kash Patel in there. And that's why they were taking them all out individually. Did you see how the Secret Service went into the crowd and they took the VIPs of the government and of military probably, and they took them out specifically, their detail covered them and basically just kind of escorted them out very quickly because they didn't know if there was more shooters or if there was something else. And there may be. I mean, it sounds to me like there's a second shooter or there was a possible second shooter. They're acting as if there was a second shooter. Look at this.
Rumble, is he not?
He is ready to rumble. I will tell you, this speech tonight will be classic Donald J. Trump. It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room. So everyone should tune in. It's going to be really great. I'm looking forward to hearing it.
I love it all.
I just thought that was very odd that she would say that. Okay, so let's look at some more info here. One second here. All right, the Islamist Revolutionary Guard Corps says controlling the Strait of Hormuz, a vital choke point for global oil and gas supplies, is Iran's definitive strategy in the war with the U.S. So this was just posted. This is really what this is all about. We need control of the narrative here at home in order to fight this, because this is going to escalate. What's going on globally right now with this war, and not to mention what's happening in Russia and Ukraine, that is a huge unfolding event as well. And that's getting worse by the hour as well. And I think that the Russians may, in fact, take over all of Ukraine and start going into Europe. There's something big going to go down. All I can tell you guys is something big is about to go down. We have the footage right here, by the way. This footage right here below shows a lot more stuff that just happened. There's a huge amount of transport planes now at Ben Gurion Airport. I couldn't believe how many transport planes are in the theater there of operations, actual war. Now, they're coming down to that week. There's about 6 more days left for Trump to get this done before Congress has to get involved. There's a 60-day window. That 60-day window is almost up. So Trump has to do something this week. And all of this armaments and supplies and munitions and, everything that they're bringing in there is going to have to get approval from the Congress. Now, are they going to approve it? Probably, because, you know, there's a majority of Republicans that are behind what's going on, I guess, in both Senate and House. And obviously the president and the team there is going completely with this. But there does seem to be some dissent in the military. I mean, you got these resignations. Obviously, that's also a part of that. But you got to wonder if they're not going to push the envelope here in any moment. Okay, so Pete Hegseth is... Let's look at some of this video. Gosh, I got to get some of this video.
Is the president okay?
This Pete Hegseth...
Mr. Secretary, is the president going back to the dinner?
Kevin, sorry.
We're at the White House Correspondents' Center. We just heard what sounded like shots coming from the kitchen room. Everyone just dove down. The President and the Vice President were on the stage. You're a brave man, sir.
You're right.
Can you see anything?
Do you have the Wi-Fi?
No.
Do you?
I don't know. Are you trying to post about it?
To rumble, is he not?
All right, so...
Stay down,
All right, so we're going to be showing the press conference with Trump here in just a few minutes. They're saying within 30 minutes, but it's probably going to be probably sooner than later, I'm sure. Okay, so the suspect has been identified. Breaking news. The suspect has been identified in the White House correspondent dinner shooting. Authorities have identified the suspect as 31-year-old Cole Thomas Allen of Torrance, California, after gunfire erupted near the magnetometer screening area at the Washington Hilton during the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Video shows a man on the ground surrounded by U.S. Secret Service agents believed to be the alleged shooter taken into custody. Reports indicate that Allen assembled a long weapon in an unsecured room, back room, before opening fire. A law enforcement officer was struck in the vest but survived. So he literally took... Okay, so we might have footage of this. Here we go. This is some footage here.
Oil at the top of the stairs. Got it. Jesus Christ. Sorry.
Let's go back over that again.
Silver foil. 4. Got it? No. Scooch over. Slightly right. Silver foil. Top of the stairs. Got it. Jesus Christ. Sorry.
Okay, so the person that this is here, oh my gosh, look at this. So this is who it is. The teacher of the month, it is being reported. Let me pull this up here. Before Trump comes on, we're going to let you guys know. We'll be streaming it live. So make sure you guys tweet this out. Get this out. Get it Facebook press your all of the people that you know, put this out there. Let's get some people into the chat here and into the stream. We've got the best footage by far. I'm telling you guys, whenever we stream, we always get everything really quick before anybody else. Even mainstream, even CN, what was it? C-SPAN. They didn't have the footage that we have. We have all the footage. Nobody has the footage yet. Nobody's getting all this information. You want to hear all this before it happens? Come over here to BP News and let everybody know. We're always on top of everything before it happens. Anybody that follows our channel knows we're always out there in the front. We monitor all social media, forums, Twitter, Reddit. We've got it all channeled right here. Okay, all the footage. Okay, so this is the guy. Cole Allen was Teacher of the Month in Torrance, California. He's mechanical engineering, I guess. And they show a picture of him. This is the guy. This is the guy they're saying that did this. In December of 2024, he was named Teacher of the Month. Amazing. Absolutely crazy. What do you think? That's crazy. His name is Cole Thomas Allen of Torrance, California. This is what authorities have identified as the 31-year-old suspect. He basically assembled a long rifle from his person. I guess he got into an unsecured room inside the building, and he assembled it. And then I'm surprised they didn't shoot him. I'm surprised they didn't take him down and kill him. Okay, so here, I got some more footage. All right. Oh my gosh. Okay, so look at this. What in the world is this? All right, let me just start it from the beginning here. Let's start it from the beginning. This looks like, okay, it says the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooter has been identified. Okay, so this is basically where they got him in the back. Okay, so these are the magnetometers. So he came through the magnetometer. Okay, and he assembled the rifle, I guess, back here. So here we go. Look, watch this. So it looks like to me that he got past the magnetometer, because you see the magnetometers are right there. You got to go through those magnetometers. How in the world did he get past it? Because he's over here. So he literally got past the magnetometer. Now he's on the ground there. They don't want anybody taking pictures. You can tell they're very anxious about anybody that is taking footage of this. All right, we have some more here.
Right, silver foil, top of the stairs. Got it.
He don't even have his shirt on. I guess they just stripped him of his clothes. He probably don't have no pants on either because they got like a blanket over him. They must have just stripped him down to nothing. You know, he could have had some kind of explosive on him or something. Maybe that's why they did that. But they literally stripped him. It looks like. Wow. Okay, so it says let's see. I'm looking at some other information here. It says they're saying the assassin. I guess he was meant to be an assassin. Wow. Whew. I bet you they're going to have a lot less events like this in the future. At least that, you know, I just can't believe that they were all assembled in one place. I mean, that seems to me to be so dangerous. You got the Secretary of War in there. You've got the head of the FBI in there. You got Jean Pirro in there. Janine Pirro. You've got the press secretary in there. I mean, who else was in there? I mean, the vice president was in there. Wow, that's just, to me, that's not supposed to. I don't think they're supposed to do that. These are live videos here, live video. So we get some more. I'm gonna kind of check out some of the forums right now too. But let's just keep this rolling, and I'll get the forums, and then when the president goes live, we'll be streaming it right here. It should be happening anytime.
This is from Notice. News of the United States is their media organization. Let's listen and watch. And under the tables,
I would
everybody
point out
went.
a couple of things. One, C-SPAN was the one camera, as I understand it, they're the one camera that's officially allowed to be at this.
The so-called pool.
The pool for this event. And unfortunately, most of these media organizations do not invite their camera crews to the dinner. So you're seeing a lot of camera angles on cell phones by individuals who don't do this for a living. They're used to being in front of the camera and not behind the camera. So your C-SPAN's going to have the best coverage of this, I think.
Yeah, my guess is that be part of the investigation, all that footage.
Absolutely.
Austin, Montana, Republican line. Hi, Austin.
Hi, good afternoon, panel.
We're listening.
My question for the panel is, how come the government doesn't do a case study on my great state of Montana? I want to say...
We're going to just leave our friend in Montana to his own opinions on whatever he was talking about. Holly in Zionsville, Indiana, Democrat. Holly, you're on C-SPAN now. What do you think about what's happening tonight?
Well, I don't know why I'm concerned, but I may be, I'm a very normal mother of three, Midwestern. I'm a registered Republican, but I voted Democrat the last time. And I just want to say the fact that there was a mentalist there who we've never had before, and it was because, according to the people that were interviewed early, the president doesn't take jokes very well. And so obviously, you know, when they planned this, they knew what kind of temperament he had. And I just think this whole scenario looks a little bit like, it just doesn't ring true to me. I mean, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist or crazy person, but I just feel like the protocols were off. The president wasn't immediately evacuated. The seal was left. The correspondence were left. And the president was the one that first made the you know, response on his social media post about wanting to continue, wanting to give his speech, wanting to, you know, and just none of this seems
so. What
normal.
Draw this, you know, draw this to a conclusion. What do you mean it doesn't seem normal? Just you get one statement.
Okay, if this was the plan to have this be interrupted in some dramatic fashion to draw our attention by this mentalist in, you know, in agreement with the president or the
Time
White
out.
House, I think that's really awful.
All right, Holly in Zionsville, Indiana, is she?
All right, time out. So I've got footage of Trump falling down. Trump literally fell down during the event. They're trying to escort him out, and he falls down. Let me post this. Let's just pull. Let me pull it. Let me just download this really quick. Okay. I guess everybody's leaving and getting ready for the press conference because obviously that's going to be happening any minute. I'm just going to upload it right now. It'll only take a second. Trump falls down as Secret Service escorts him out of ballroom shooting. Okay. All right, so I'll show you what happened there so you can see it here. It's just like, it is a show. I mean, that's what she said. It was a show. It's a show. This is like the greatest show on earth. All right, so here you go. Let's take a look.
Barged into the ballroom because they were neutralizing the threat. The gunshots were very loud. They did appear behind me, so I think that reporting of someone trying to breach the mag is, in fact...
Trump fell down. Did you see that? Look at this. Look at this again.
They were neutralizing the
Look, he's up. There he is. He's up. He's walking. And boom, he falls on the ground. How in the world are the Secret Service not able to keep him from, I mean, he's an old guy. You know, he could have broke his hip or something. Something could have happened, and the Secret Service broke his hip. Look, he's on the ground.
Were very loud. They did appear behind me, so I think that reporting of someone...
They literally dropped the president. You dropped the president. Hello? Secret Service just dropped the president on the way out.
The ballroom because they were neutralizing the threat.
Look at, there he is. He's running. Boom. Whoops. Pick up the president. Drag him along here. What's going on? He's on the floor again.
Did appear behind me, so
He's like, get my shoes. He's like, this is absolutely crazy. This is absolutely crazy.
The reporting of someone trying to breach the mag is, in fact,
amazing. What in the world? All right, we have some more information here that's just coming out here. Let me see here. Let me look at it here really quick. Okay, so the president's going to be live in just a minute. Here we go. It's going to begin shortly. The show will go on. The show will go on any moment. Like I said, share this feed. The way you guys can support our channel is by sharing the feed, thumbs upping the video. Hey, hit that donate button. We definitely could use some an infusion of life support on what we're doing here. We got lots of internet bills on top of a whole bunch of other things that are happening. And we could, and if you can't, help out in that way, share the feed. Talk about what we're doing. Get in the comments, write something in the comments that helps the algorithms. If you share it on your social media or get it on Reddit, some of you Reddit users, some of you guys that are out there on using forums, you can't use Godlike Production. They ban us. They don't like it. It's kind of like they don't like Trumpet News or they hated us from the very beginning. So that's why they've got like a mark on us. But any other forums, any other types of outlets, Twitter, Facebook, get us out there on the social media. That'll help the channel grow. Even one person can bring in hundreds of people if they know how to promote through the internet. So a lot of the promotions I do, but all I need to do is get a few people out there that know how to promote, and the channel will definitely blow back up. But the president will be speaking here any minute. This is a live feed right here. And as soon as he goes live, we're going to see it. So I'm just going to put this on so we'll hear it in the background. Let's just go back over to what's happening here at C-SPAN. Let's see what they're saying.
In Lincoln, Nebraska, Democrat. Hi, Louis. Thanks for holding. Please go ahead.
Yes. I feel like this is a derivative of bringing Hollywood to Washington, D.C. It's a wag the dog situation. Trump did not want to be at the correspondence dinner. He does not like free media. And he's going to find ways through Hollywood to create situations where it's going to leave us Americans scratching our heads on what's going on. Now he has every reason to have a ballroom.
Okay, let's check in with Mike Dunphy, who used to work for President Trump as his communications director, on all three of the points that you raised. Well, number one, President Trump did not want to be at the dinner.
I think that's absolutely untrue. I frankly was very surprised he went to the dinner because I thought he was going to be consistent through the rest of his presidency of not attending this dinner.
Number two, he doesn't like the media, the free media.
He loves free media. One would argue that it was the earned media that he got in 2015, 2016 when he was running for president that helped him through the Republican primaries and launched him into the presidency. Donald Trump has been part of the media industrial complex, if you want to call it that, from a very, very young age. We were having a conversation in the green room before we came out about how this dinner has what was Louis's point?
Louis.
That this dinner has become a little bit more Hollywood. But Donald Trump, before he was president, attended this dinner multiple times as a guest of media companies. So,
third point, this is wag the dog. Now Donald Trump can have his ballroom because it's not secure anyplace else.
I think Donald Trump secured that ballroom long before this White House Correspondents' Dinner in the way that only he can. But.
And, Karen Bohan, we were replaying some of the old correspondence speeches, the president speaking at the Correspondents' Dinner on C-SPAN 2 all day long, and I watch them over and over. And in 2016, Barack Obama made a point of in his remarks. He goes, "What is wrong with you people in the media? All you do is cover Donald Trump." Basically, is what he said. He said it in a very amusing way. But do you remember the first in 2016 when Donald Trump was running for president? I remember going through the newspapers one day and there were 30 articles on Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. What was it about him that attracted that attention.
It was his ability to get free media from the press. I mean, if you think about it, looking back to, 2015.
Okay, guys, I got some more information here. More information is now coming out. You got to see this footage. So the whip, let's see, the majority leader whip is dragged from the Trump shooting, and people are speculating if he actually got shot. I don't think so. I think he probably just stumbled or something. But look at this. People are saying, did he get shot? I think he just probably got freaked out and probably spranged his leg or whatever. I think that's what happened. I doubt that he got shot because the guy was outside. There was no shooting inside. There was nothing that happened inside. So, but Trump is going to be delivering his remarks here any minute, supposedly. But we'll see. Let's continue listening to some of this commentary here. Okay, here we go. Oops, wrong one. All right, what did I just do? Okay. All right, hold on 1 second here. I got to get this right feedback up here. All right, there we go.
Oh, hi there. Thanks for letting me talk. So I want to say I'm very grateful to law enforcement that all 2,000 journalists, including your own C-SPAN reporters, are safe and the shooter was apprehended. The press has been called fake news and often ridiculed by the current occupant of the White House. And I, for one, am glad all the journalists are safe. And I appreciate that you guys regularly put your lives on the front line of reporting every day. So thank you for doing that.
That's Peter in Hancock, Maine. Who came up with the phrase fake news? Was that a Donald Trumpism?
He made it famous. There were bumper stickers back when George Herbert Walker Bush. It was don't blame me.
Ignore the media.
Ignore the media.
Vote for Bush.
Yeah.
Something like
don't
that,
blame me. I voted for Bush.
Yeah.
This has been an ongoing kind of push and pull, especially with Republican candidates and Republican.
All right, so we have better footage of Trump falling. Let's see if I can pull that up. We got better footage of Trump falling down when he fell down and went boom. Let's see here. Is this it? Yeah, I think this is it. Trump did fall down.
There's the president being escorted. The president being escorted out one side, the vice president being escorted.
he definitely fell down there. Let's take a look at that again. So there you go. You got people looking all around. This is when they're actually realizing that there's some kind of shooting going on. And here comes the Secret Service running in here. Secure the president, secure the president. Trump gets up. You can see him getting up there. They're grabbing Trump. He's right in the middle. And then he falls. Whoops. He's on the ground. Everybody, like, where's the Secret Service? I mean, is that the Secret Service? I don't even think that's the Secret Service they're going out with him. That was like the guy next to him and the girl that was next to him. I think that this guy is Secret Service, but I don't think this guy is. You know, let's look. This guy right here, is he Secret Service? Maybe he is. Yeah, he does have that little thing in the back of his ear. That's how you know they're Secret Service. They got the little earpiece in. Okay, so those guys are all Secret Service. So they run, and then you've got the whatever that is, SWAT, whatever. They're obviously security detail for the president. They're pulling him out, and he trips. Whoops! Bam! Right on his face. They let him fall. I mean, I would think that the Secret Service is supposed to be holding on pretty tight to the president. You know, they usually get like bodies. Their bodies have become one with the president at a certain point when there's something like this going on. And you got two guys on both sides of Trump that let him fall down. He literally falls down on his face. That's crazy. That's pretty. Okay, here we go. I think. Are they talking?
Escorted. The president being
escorted. That was somebody on there. Okay, so there we go. I've got this heater on and it's burning my leg here. Guys, it just totally fries my leg here. I got to turn this thing off. So we're still waiting for the president. He's going to be speaking here any minute. And in the meantime, we're going to listen to some commentary between callers about what just happened. Let's just kind of listen in.
Of that ilk. There were some that weren't, and even the reporters that were in the White House would agree with me, wink, nod, yeah, we know, and I'm not going to name names tonight. That having been said, you know, when you're in the White House, the diversification of the different mediums that are there, that's what allows me to say that.
All right, we've got less than 2 minutes. A 2-minute warning was given at the White House at the press conference about to begin. But Karen Bohan, if you had to call and you wanted to do an interview with President Trump and you talked to Mike over here, how would you approach that?
So I immediately would ask him, you know, how he felt in the moment and what happened, you know, and I want to know more about what transpired between the time he was thrown to the ground and, you know, when the decision was made that he would go to the White House to make this statement.
And there's going to be all sorts of hands raised at this press conference. How long do you think the president will
I think
go?
this might go for a while. I think he's going to probably only call on people in tuxedos and full gowns. I think he will make a point of the fact that they went through this ordeal together. And he's not... he might deliver one of the jokes he was going to deliver tonight, but I think this is going to be a serious speech, but one.
Okay, guys, I'm going to talk a little bit before President Trump gets up here. I want to make sure you guys are all aware of the mission that we have here at BP News and how important it is to get the word out, especially to the masses that are completely and utterly mesmerized and have no clue what's really happening and don't have a heads up on what's about to affect their world. And it's a tangible effect that it's going to have on our economy, possibly our civil order, and this is something that's been in preparations, I think, for a little bit. We've been seeing the handwriting on the wall for a little while. Now, we've kind of tried to give heads up, but it's hard to get people's attention because people are definitely consumed with the consumerism that is America's mindset, whether it's entertainment or just materialism, and or getting caught up with celebrity, whatever they are, celebrities of any sort, whether it's entertainment or politics or religious. You got people that just love to worship personalities. And one thing that I have always been here, and I've not really been shy about even saying it, and that sometimes people have a hard time listening to me because I don't mind offending people, and I tell people the point blank truth, right? And it doesn't matter to me because I'm not here trying to gain finance. I'm not trying to get rich. I obviously live in the world. We got to pay the bills, and I know that God takes care of all of our needs. But I also know that He promotes. God's the one that promotes. So if you're a part of that promotion and you're seeing the wave and you're riding it with us, then praise God, you're on the right side. You're not by your silence or by your lack of involvement aiding and abetting the enemy. You're actually aiding and abetting the kingdom of God and the message of truth that is going to sweep over, and it's going to be in such a way that I think it's going to be the last moment before everything really does go really south. Everybody's going to get a clear call, a clear warning. Everybody, and that warning is going out right now before it all really hits the fan, because it's getting very close to hitting the fan. And you better be prepared. Everything that we've tried to tell you about prepping, about getting your heart right, making sure that you're ready for these terrible events is still valid. Some people might have turned away and said that we didn't know what we were talking about, but they're stirring back. They're starting to realize that these warnings were not vain. They were not vain. They were done. They were said with inspiration and purpose and intent from the God Most High that cares about people. He cares about His creation, and he's gone bent over backwards trying to get a hold of people's hearts and minds from the very beginning. I mean, going to the cross. I mean, look at how many people were. Here we go. We're getting ready for the presidency. Look at how many people were for.
Thank you very much. That was very unexpected, but incredibly acted upon by Secret Service and law enforcement. And this was an event dedicated to freedom of speech that was supposed to bring together members of both parties with members of the press. And in a certain way it did, because the fact that they just unified, I saw a room that was just totally unified. It was in one way a very beautiful thing to see. A man charged a security checkpoint armed with multiple weapons, and he was taken down by some very brave members of Secret Service, and they acted very quickly and have just released, for purposes of transparency, clarity, I've ordered it to be put out. You probably have it by now, put out on Truth and put out on many of the platforms. A tape showing the violence of this thug that attacked our Constitution, and also showing how quickly Secret Service and law enforcement acted on our country's behalf. Really did a great job. One officer was shot, but saved by the fact that he was wearing obviously a very good bulletproof vest. He was shot from very close distance with a very powerful gun, and the vest did the job. I just spoke to the officer, and he's doing great. He's in great shape. He has very high spirits, and we told him we love him and respect him, and he's a very proud guy. He's very proud of what he does, Secret Service agent. And we looked at all of the conditions that took place tonight, and I will say, it's not a particularly secure building, and I didn't want to say this, but this is why we have to have all of the attributes of what we're planning at the White House. It's actually a larger room, and it's much more secure. It's drone-proof, it's bulletproof glass. We need the ballroom. That's why Secret Service, that's why the military are demanding it. They've wanted the ballroom for 150 years for lots of different reasons, but today's a little bit different because today we need levels of security that probably nobody's ever seen before. But everyone owes a tremendous debt of gratitude to the courage of law enforcement, the law enforcement, and working with the D.C. police. And we just spoke with the mayor. And when we're finished, the police chief is going to take over and discuss it also from their viewpoint. But they also performed exactly as they were supposed to. And you see the attacker in different positions, but you also see the attacker totally subdued and under control. So as you know, this is not the first time in the past couple of years that our republic has been attacked by a would-be assassin who sought to kill. In Butler, Pennsylvania, less than 2 years ago, you all know that story. And in Palm Beach, Florida, a few months after that, we came close. We really had, again, we had some great work done by law enforcement. But in light of this evening's events, I ask that all Americans recommit with their hearts in resolving our difference peacefully. We have to resolve our differences. I will say, you had Republicans, Democrats, independents, conservatives, liberals, and progressives. Those words are interchangeable, perhaps, but maybe they're not. But yet everybody in that room, big crowd, record-setting crowd. There was a record-setting group of people. And there was a tremendous amount of love and coming together. I watched, and I was very, very impressed by that. But First Lady and I were taken very well care of very quickly, rushed off the stage. Vice President J.D. Vance, who's here, was likewise beautifully done. He was just saying how quickly everybody acted, law enforcement, Secret Service in particular in this case, but law enforcement. Marco had the same thing. Pete was there. Pete didn't want any help. He didn't want anybody to help him. He doesn't want anybody to help him, but he did get some, didn't you? And I think you also said that it was very impressive. So with that, I'd like to ask Todd Blanche to come up, say a few words, and tell you it's already underway. The man has been captured. They're going to his apartment. I guess he lives in California, and he's a sick person, a very sick person, and we don't want things like this to happen. I think it's very important that I say, though, and I told the representatives of the evening, they did such a beautiful job. It was such a beautiful evening. And again, they're talking about free speech in our Constitution. That's what it's all about, not just White House correspondence. It was really based on free speech in our Constitution. But I said very importantly that we'll do it again within the next 30 days, and we'll make it bigger and better and even nicer. So I just want to thank everybody that was involved. I also want to thank the press, the media. You've been very responsible in your coverage. I will say I've been seeing what's been out. You've been very responsible. So Todd Blanche, I'd like to say a few words, and then we're going to have cash. And then you're going to go on. We can ask, I guess we can take a couple of questions. I want to thank the First Lady for, that was a rather traumatic experience for her. There was a lot of action taking place up there very quickly. But again, the response time was really incredible. And we're going to reschedule. We're going to do it again. We're not going to let anybody take over our society. We're not going to cancel things out because we can't do that. We wanted to stay tonight. I will tell you, I fought like hell to stay. But it was protocol. They said, please, sir, because they didn't know there was a lot of action going on, and they didn't know could there be probably a lone shooter, but we'll find out. We'll find out very quickly. They have it very well under control. So I want to thank everybody very much. And Todd Blanche, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Tonight you saw the very worst and the very best of this country. You saw the very worst by the actions of that coward that the president just talked about. But you also saw the very best because you saw law enforcement do exactly what they're supposed to do. And you'll see the videos come out, I expect, very shortly, and you'll see law enforcement do exactly what we want them to do. And so I echo what what President Trump just said, that we are extraordinarily grateful and appreciative of the men and women of law enforcement that did their jobs tonight, including one who was injured. This investigation is ongoing. I expect you will see charges filed shortly. The charges should be self-evident given the conduct, but as you'll hear, there will be multiple charges surrounding the shooting, around the possession of firearms, and anything else that we can get on this guy. The investigation is obviously ongoing and just started. There is federal law enforcement already working on search warrants and doing their job, and I don't want to get ahead of them and don't want to get ahead of the work that they're doing even as we speak. Director Patel and I were just on the crime scene a short while ago, and everybody in this room should rest assured that the Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI, Secret Service, everybody's on the scene doing their job. I know that the police chief is going to give an update from the scene as soon as we're finished here, and I obviously will lead the details of what they have learned to him. But in the meantime, I just want to thank everybody in this room for the courage, and I want to thank President Trump for his words, and I promise you, justice will be served. Thank you, Director Patel.
Thank you, General. Thank you, Mr. President. The President's absolutely right. You saw the best resolve of American law enforcement because you, Mr. President, inspire them 24/7, 365. You give them the resources that they need, and they know that you have their back. And that is a changing dynamic in this country, and that's why you saw brave Secret Service agents respond immediately, swiftly, subdue and take down the suspect, and safeguard the lives of thousands of individuals at that hotel. Thanks to our interagency partnership with the Department of Homeland Security and the Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI was rapidly deployed onto the scene, took over the evidence response unit, is examining all the ballistics that were found on scene to include the long gun and the shell casings. We are conducting witness interviews as we speak. You will hear from our team on the scene there with the mayor and the head of the FBI field division there. But please know what the Attorney General has just said reigns no truer. You saw the very best of America tonight. The very best unite us at a time of uncertainty, because we have leadership here with the President and the Vice President that backs law enforcement, and the men and women that I shook their hands on the scene today could not have been prouder to show up on scene. And as the Attorney General said, make no mistake, we are conducting witness interviews. If you have any information whatsoever related to this event, 1-800-CALL-FBI, 1-800-CALL-FBI. No piece of information is too small. No piece of information is inadequate. We will evaluate it all. We will also be conducting interviews of those that were there. And if any of those individuals have information, please come forward to law enforcement or the FBI or the Metropolitan Police Department. We will be examining this individual's background thoroughly. That process has already started, and we are going to ensure that he was either a lone wolf actor or anyone else that was responsible. We will analyze all evidence immediately to make sure that we safeguard this country. Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, thank you for your leadership. Attorney General and Homeland Secretary Marlin, thank you for your partnership in law enforcement.
Thank you. Okay, we'll do a couple and then we go to the chief. Madam Chairman, I just want to say you did a fantastic job. What a beautiful evening, and we're going to reschedule. Okay. And after that, it's very tough for her to ask a killer question, right? But you have done a fantastic job. Please.
Mr. President, I appreciate it. As you mentioned, it all happened so quickly, and I wonder, especially because unfortunately you have experience with these sorts of threats. In that moment, when you realized there was a threat and service agents were telling us to get down, can you describe what was going through your mind, how you were feeling in that moment?
That's a very good question, actually. It's always shocking when something like this happens. It's happened to me a little bit, and that never changes. The fact, we were sitting right next to each other, First Lady on my right, and I heard a noise and sort of thought it was a tray. I thought it was a tray going down. I've heard that many times, and it was a pretty loud noise. And it was from quite far away. He hadn't breached the area at all. They really got him. But, so it was quite far away, but it was a gun. And some people really understood that pretty quickly. Other people didn't. I was watching to see what was happening. Probably should have gone down even faster. Melania was very cognizant, I think, of what happened. I think she knew immediately what happened. She was saying, "That's a bad noise," and we were whisked away along with other people, but we were really whisked away. And again, the performance of the Secret Service and the police, all of the law enforcement, I thought was really good. So it was very quick. There wasn't a lot of time to be thinking, because it was a matter of seconds before we were out the door and gone into an area. We very much, and you wanted to too, we very much wanted to continue it, because I don't like to let these sick people, these thugs, these horrible, horrible people, change the fabric of our life, change the course of what we do. So we held out. You were there. We held out right till the end, but they didn't want to take a chance, and I understand there was protocol. But we're going to be doing one hopefully within the next 30 days or sooner, and I am ready, willing, and able. And I was all set to really rip it. And I said to my people, this would be the most inappropriate speech ever made if I said what. So I'll have to save it. I don't know if I could ever be as rough as I was going to be tonight. I think I'm going to be probably very nice. I'll be very boring the next time, but we're going to have a great event. And you did a fantastic job. Thank you very much. Peter, go ahead.
Thank you, President Trump. There's a report in the New York Post that this assailant assembled his weapon somewhere on site at the hotel. What do you think about that? And I ask respectfully, why do you think this keeps happening to you?
Well, you know, I've studied assassinations, and I must tell you, the most impactful people, the people that do the most, you take a look at the people, Abraham Lincoln, I mean, you go through the people that have gone through this, where they got them, but the people that do the most, the people that make the biggest impact, they're the ones that they go after. They don't go after the ones that don't do much, because they like it that way. And when you look at the people that have either, whether it was an attempt or a successful attempt, they're very impactful people. Just take a look at the names there, the big names. And I hate to say I'm honored by that, but I've done a lot. We've done a lot. We've taken this country, and we were a laughing stock for years, and now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. We've changed this country. And there are a lot of people that are not happy about that. So I think that's the answer, Peter.
And after Butler, your team for a while rethought outdoor events.
Yeah.
Do you think that you now need to rethink
No.
indoor
Well,
events?
but then you just don't do events. No, I can't do that. I have to, it is what it is. We have to do it. The room was very, very secure. You know, he charged from 50 yards away, so he was very far away from the room.
And what did you think when you saw the video of how fast he was running?
He was moving. He was really moving. And the reaction time was great. Boy, those guys, they had their guns drawn literally by the time he was there. They were shooting.
That's right.
I thought they were very impressive. And if I didn't, I'd let you know, I'm not going to be, I would not stand for that. No, I thought they were very impressive.
Thank you, President Trump, and thank you for updating us on the
Thank you.
suspect earlier. Were you aware of any threats? Was your team aware of any threats beforehand? And do you believe you were the target of this tonight?
I guess. I mean, these people they're crazy. They're crazy, and you never know. He was very far away from me. He had to go through a lot. We had resources all over. We had resources sitting at tables, literally in disguise, sitting maybe at your table, who knows? But we had people all over the room, so he had a long way to go. That was really a first line of defense, and they got him. And they really, they acted incredibly. No, there was no notification. We had no idea. Go ahead,
Do you know
Kevin.
any political motivations from this?
Well, you never know. Now, we'll be able to tell you that maybe by tomorrow or the next day. He's in custody, and they're asking him a lot of questions. I guess they're going over, Todd, and they're already at his apartment. He lives in California.
Yes, sir.
And they're over there, so they'll be able to tell you. Thank you, Caitlin.
President Trump, did the suspect say anything, or was he wearing anything that would allege some type of motive here?
Nothing. No, I mean, he was a guy who looked pretty evil when he was down. They had him down. He was fighting hard. He was, in my opinion, a sick person. Who would do that but a sick person? But I think you're going to find everything about him. No reason to talk about it now. But tomorrow at this time, long before this time, you're going to know a lot of things about him. They seem to think he was a lone wolf, and I feel that too.
Are you concerned about U.S. Secret Service protection ability? We saw several of the detailees take minutes to be escorted out of the room.
No, they acted very quickly. No, I was very impressed by Secret Service. I mean, I'm the one, and Mark Wayne, you would agree with that, I think.
Absolutely.
I'm the one that would complain. You don't have to complain for me. I would be complaining. I'd be up here right now saying they didn't do their job. Oh, believe me, because, you know, it's my life, and I want to live because I want to make this country great. That's why I want to live. But when you're impactful, they go after you. When you're not impactful, they leave you alone. Okay, a couple of more. Go ahead, please.
Is there any indication that this shooting could have been linked to the war in Iran?
I don't think so, but you never know. We're going to know a lot. We have the best people in the world working on it, and we're going to know a lot. Please.
Mr. President, there's a lot. You, as well as some of us who have covered Butler, experienced another horrific day 2 years ago.
Yeah.
What felt similar? You know, you had the First Lady with you today. What felt different? And you have another 2+ years in office. Are you concerned about something like this happening
Well, I
again?
can't be concerned. I can only get great people. They did the job, in my opinion, a much better job than Butler. Butler had one weak spot that we all know about. Somebody should have been up there. But even Butler, we had our sniper on our side within 4.2 seconds from a distance of about 400 yards, one shot, and he was gone. And if he didn't do it, now, you know, he's David. His name was David. I say, hello, David, every time I see him. David, I like you very much, David. But think of that. Now, if he doesn't hit him, and he hit him right between the eyes from 400 yards without any notice, nobody knew. He heard a sound. He looked over, and there was actually a tree that was somewhat in his way. You know the story very well. And he aimed, he fired, and if he didn't do that, beyond me, you would have had a lot more people killed. We lost one great person and 2 people very badly hurt. They're okay now. But no, that was, so in a sense, you know, that was pretty amazing, the job they did. But they did have that one weak spot. As you know, they should have had that covered. Tonight they had everything covered very quickly. And he was fast. He was running full blast, and they got him before they got any further. I was very far away. You know, he hadn't anywhere close to breach the doors of the ballroom. The ballroom was sealed, and everybody in there. That's why once those doors opened, they didn't want to do tonight. If the doors weren't opened, we could have probably done it tonight, but I think we're much better off rescheduling. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, for you and perhaps law enforcement as well, what is the level of confidence that this was a lone actor, and has the suspect made any statements to police while in custody?
Yeah, I think it's just it's not my profession. We have great professionals up here and outside that have been working with us. My impression is he was a lone wolf, whack job. These are crazy people. And they have to be dealt with. We had that in the second attempt, as you know, and he's spending life in prison. Because if you let him out, they'll probably, you know, if he serves 10 years or 15 years, you let him out, he'll probably try it again with somebody else. They're sick people. We have a lot of sick people. But you're going to know, I think very shortly, you're going to know, Todd, a lot about him. You're going to know a lot about him. Yeah, a couple of more. Yeah, please, go ahead.
Are you concerned about political violence? This could be politically motivated.
All violence. You know, I'm concerned about everything. Look, but I can't be so concerned that you can't function. No, I'm here. It's a dangerous profession. You know, I tell the story, race car drivers, I think it's very dangerous. So if you take 1% and then take about 10% of 1%, just to break it down very easily, they die. So much less than 1%, 10% of 1%. I think bull riding is very dangerous. If you take about the same, 10% of 1%, much less than 1%. But if you take presidents, it's 5.8%. And about 8% are shot at. So nobody told me this was such a dangerous profession. If Marco would have told me, maybe I wouldn't have run. Maybe I would have said, I'll take a pass. No, it's a dangerous profession, but I don't view it that way. Look, I'm here to do a job. As part of the job, it is a dangerous. I can't imagine that there's any profession that's more dangerous. But I love the country, and I'm very proud. I'm very proud of the job we've done. You see what's happened. We have a great country. We've got, I think, the most successful, the hottest country anywhere in the world. This happened over a period of just a year, and we're going to do great things. But with that come risks. There's no question about it. Yeah.
To that end, I mean, there's been so much political violence, not just aimed at yourself, but at other members of Congress, state house speakers, you name it. Is that just the cost of doing business to do politics in America anymore?
Yeah, well,
what does that say about our country?
Too. We're not the only country. You look at this great violence with all countries. I was talking to somebody from another country today, and they have numerous assassinations of political figures all over the world. You look at South America, it's like some of the numbers are just horrific. It's dangerous. It's dangerous stuff, whether it's here or someplace else. No country is immune. No country. Good question.
To turn that temperature down at this point?
Well, probably if I decided to just not do much, if I let everybody rip us off and take advantage of us. Look, we're leading the world in trade now. We're leading the world in the military. We're the greatest military in the world. I rebuilt it in my first term, and now we use it because we have no choice. We can't let, as an example, Iran, we can't let them get a nuclear weapon. Everything will be peanuts compared to that if they ever were given a nuclear weapon, and they'd use it too. Marco and I were talking about it today. They would use it without even hesitation. We can't do that. It was a shame. I said, oh boy, look at the numbers. We just broke 50,000 in the Dow. We just broke 7,000 in the S&P. They said we couldn't do it in 7 years, in 5 years, 4 years. They were saying maybe in 5 or 6 years. And we did it in 1 year. And I called everybody together. I called all of these people and others, and I said, we have to take a little journey. I seek to do this. We just had the great number. We just broke 50,000. Wasn't supposed to happen during my term. Wasn't reachable. We did it in 1 year, and I said, we're going to have to make a journey to Iran. They're going to have a nuclear weapon if we don't do it. We had the B-2 bombers take them out. I terminated in the first term the Obama agreement, the Iran nuclear agreement, which was a disaster. That was a road to a nuclear weapon. They would have used it. They would have used it 100%. So, when you do things like that, you become a target. If I wasn't doing that, I guess I'd be a lot less of a target. But I'm honored to be. Okay, one more question. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, President Trump. Thank you, President Trump. Do you know how the gun was brought into the hotel? And also, how does this event impact you as the leader of our country? Do you think it will change your leadership?
I like not to think about it. I lead a pretty normal life, considering it's a dangerous life. I think I handle it as well as it can be handled. I think a lot of other people, you read stories where they become basket cases. To be honest with you, I'm not a basket case. I really take it as it is. I do it for the country. I'm not doing it for any other reason. I have a first lady who's doing a terrific job. She loves the country, and she recognizes it better than anybody. She's told me numerous times. She said, you are in a dangerous job. But that goes along with her, too. I mean, it's dangerous for her, too. We sat there tonight. We heard that noise, and it was either a tray or a bullet. I was hoping it was a tray, but it wasn't. And again, we had some very brave people doing a great job, so we're very proud of them and happy with them. I just want to thank everybody. They will be able to give you all that information as to the names and everything else. I think we released the names already. Most of you would have it, but his name. We appreciate it. I see so many tuxedos and beautiful dresses. It was a little different evening than we thought, but we're going to do it again, and we have a great chairman who we're so proud of, and we have to make it better. We'll make it safer, I guess, right? But we're going to make it even better. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
You talked about how impactful this was. Can we hear from her about?
Well, honey, would you want to say something?
Okay.
Huh?
One in the back.
Right.
Millions of people across the globe, in fact, are watching you. You demonstrated courageous leadership, and thank God you're alive, all of us are alive today. What is the message that you want to give to the world that this should change? What corrective measures can we take from here on? So.
Well, all you can do, look, I don't care how many people you have, how good they are. They can be the greatest people. You have the greatest security in history. If you have a whack job who's got a brain, but it's a little bit distorted or a lot distorted, they can make trouble. I would say, Pete, right? You know, they can make trouble. Some of these people are of genius level IQ, and they're nuts, so it can be trouble. So you do absolutely the best. You get the best. We have the best people. Well, look, it was proven tonight. He started running from 50 yards, and he was fast. He was like a blur on tape. He was moving. It was very impressive the way they got him, because a lot of people would be looking and saying, you know, it's like a weird feeling, and they would let him get through, but they didn't let him get through. They drew those guns so fast. They looked like Matt Dillon. They looked like somebody that knew what they were doing. What do we do? But it comes with the territory. And if you want to do a great job, I really believe that. And you take a look at what's happened to some of our greatest presidents, and it doesn't happen to people that don't do anything. And it's not going to deter me from winning the war in Iran. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. I really don't think so, based on what we know. But we're going to continue to do a great job. That's all I can do. Thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Glad you're okay.
All right, so I guess that's it. And you know, in the meantime, I'm sure we're going to hear more of what's going on as time goes on. The Iran situation, obviously, there was supposed to be J.D. Vance, and actually J.D. Vance wasn't supposed to be there. It was Kushner and Witkoff. But the Iranians stood them up, or basically they were showing up, but they weren't going to be there. And so they canceled. Not only did they cancel J.D. Vance's trip the other day, they also canceled Witkoff and Kushner because nobody was there to talk to them, and I guess they didn't want to look stupid again in trying to negotiate with, you know, a country that is going to fight to the death. And so what are we going to do? I guess we're going to go in there. We're going to embargo them. We're going to cut off all their supplies. We're, if need be, go in there and start destroying infrastructure, critical infrastructure. It's going to affect the Iranian people. Possibly even bring down some massive ordnance on all those mountain ranges that have those deep military cities or missile cities that are deep inside, because they're going to keep this straight shut. And you've got at least 10% of the global oil supply being cut off. There's a possibility that if this continues and we do something that, you know, irritates and or threatens Iranian security even more, they will, this is what they said, they're going to light up all of the Middle Eastern oil countries and destroy their critical infrastructure. And they've already named the targets. So that means 30% of the global oil supply will be cut off. Who's the world going to blame? Are they going to blame Iran, or are they going to blame the U.S.? When it really comes down to it, if 30% of the oil supply of the global oil supply is shut off, who are they going to blame? Well, we couldn't help ourselves. We had to stop this WMD, you know, from happening. Kind of like the Bush administration. We got to stop this. We got to go in there and kill 1 million civilians on accident. It's really collateral damage, but, you know, but surprise, we were wrong. I guess there really wasn't any weapons of mass destruction there. So we made a mistake. Whoops. But we got rid of a tyrant while we were at it. Is this going to be the same mantra of Iran? I mean, weapons of mass destruction, possibly. I thought we already got rid of them. When we bombed them the first time, I thought there was no possibility, right? So the mission was a success. But hey, they're already back to building another one. But hey, we've destroyed their complete military. All their Navy is gone. Military's gone. All their missiles are supposedly taken out. Now we can transit the Strait of Hormuz with no problem. Trump's telling all the countries of the world, just go on through. It's open. But no, it's not open. No, their Navy isn't destroyed. They still got those fast boats and whatever else they've got out there, keeping the strait closed with mines and missiles. And we won't even get close with our warships. So what's really the story? The story is that we're not really hearing the truth of what's really happening there. And where is it going to go from here? See, other channels are starting to talk about this. Dream ballroom pitch amid shooting chaos. Dream ballroom pitch amid shooting chaos. Trump didn't miss a chance to market his long obsessed over White House ballroom because, you know, they're trying to stop that from happening. I guess they put some kind of court order to stop that from being built. So maybe this is another way to two birds with one stone. I don't know. But getting back to the global crisis that is unfolding right before us, I suspect things are going to get really bad here soon. And this is maybe a prelude to try to get the support of the American people back on track. You know, I don't know. I'm not saying that this was a false flag, but a lot of people are speculating online that it's a false flag. And it's done with the purpose of trying to get the public's opinion back because they've lost the narrative. The Trump administration has lost the narrative on what's happening here with the Iranian situation. Not to mention the base. Now, I think the reason why Trump has lost the base or the narrative is because he's basically attacked his base. You know, it reminds me of someone that's gone through marriage after marriage, and when they attack their wife for the third time and then decide to divorce, people don't really look too kindly on that track record because you got a track record of not being able to manage your personal life very well. And so you have this terrible fallout, and public opinion is going to be, you know, especially if there's, but see, the problem is with Americans, they've gotten so morally lax and lackadaisical in terms of their own personal spirituality, morality. They don't care now. They don't really care. And they'll just kind of overlook it. And that's the problem that we have. That's why our society and our civilization, this empire of the U.S. is declining. It is in great decline. It's because we don't esteem these values and morals. Even the pagans have, and I say pagans because I'm speaking from a biblical point of view, they even have a higher moral standard than some of the, in a good majority of what America says is exceptionalism. Well, even if you have a great work ethic, even if you have discipline, you can still be a moral degenerate. You know that, right? Because the devil, they say, is always hard at work. He never sleeps. The devil is probably one of the most hardworking entities that God has ever created. Besides himself, besides the angels that God has created that are on his side. But obviously the devil says never sleeps. He never sleeps. He always looks tired, but he's always awake. He's always aware of what's going on. And the devil's inside. The devil's inside, and he's in the details. So you better hear from God, especially in the days to come, because you need to know even greater detail of what is really going on. You better get some counsel from the Most High, because this world is being permeated, is being saturated with the end-time agenda, but they're hearing it from the wrong side. They're missing what's really coming down. And many people are going to be surprised. You know, I'll just give you this before I go. If you go back to the Bible and you see the parable that Jesus taught about the 10 virgins. 5 of them were foolish, 5 of them were wise. The bridegroom was at the door and he knocked. And if you understand the Middle Eastern way of marriage, you understand how that works. I won't go into all the details of that. I could probably teach on that on our BP Ministries channel. If you want to become a part of that, go check out the BP Ministries channel. We do a lot of teachings on biblical stories and doctrine. And anyway, so these 5 virgins that are foolish and the 5 virgins that are wise wake up. The knock is at the door. The bridegroom is about to open the door. This is in reference to the coming of the Lord, symbolically representing the return of Christ, right, in the latter day. What happens? Prophetically speaking, the virgins all awake. Both the good, both the wise, and both the foolish awaken. The wise virgins have oil, and their lamps are trimmed, and they have light. But the foolish virgins, the little bit of oil they had is now waned and has gone out. And they weren't prepared. They weren't ready. They're asking the wise virgins for some oil. Do you have a little bit of oil to spare? And the wise virgins say, no, we can't, because if we do, we give to you, we won't have any for ourselves. Go out where, the seller of the oil is. Who is the sellers of the oil? The preachers, the teachers, those who have doctrinal, purity, sound doctrine, right? The ones that are peddling false lies and falsehoods and twisted truth and semblance of godliness, but deny the power thereof. They have a name that they're alive, but they're really dead. And they're whitewashed tombs. They've been sucking off that kind of doctrine all their Christian life, and now they have nothing at the last hour. And they're angry. Maybe they're frustrated. Maybe they're afraid. There's nothing they can do because they can't see. And yesterday I told you guys that story about the guys in those deep underground caverns and their lights go out. They got candles or they got flashlights. Their batteries go out. They die. They can't find their way out. It's dark. When you don't have light, especially in the Middle East, they didn't have generators. They didn't have electricity back in the day. You had a candle and you had oil. And if you're out of oil and you're out of a candle, your candle isn't trimmed and it's done. There's no more wick. That's it. You have no light. You might as well just go to bed, go to sleep, because there's nothing you can do now. You have no light. You can't do anything. So my advice is make sure your heads are looking up. Make sure you're looking in the right direction and you're listening. Scripture's real clear about how you listen. Be careful how you listen. You could be hearing everything I'm saying, but not really hearing it. You could be reading the scriptures and not really understanding, perceiving. You may not be able to. You may be reading all about the kingdom, but not perceiving it. You have to be transformed and born from above. You have to have a call by faith, following that call. You have to be hearing it. That's the communication. If your faith is growing, it's inspired by the very word of God Himself, and He's revealing His truth to you, then you're going to grow. And your faith is going to expand, and you're going to continue that communication. And that's the light, right? The word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. If you're hearing God speak to you through His word, you're going to have a lamp under your feet and a light on your path. You're not going to be walking around stumbling. It says He is able to keep you from stumbling and to present you before His glorious presence without spot and without wrinkle. You're not going to have any issues getting in. Well done, good and faithful servant. Come on in. All you other ones out there, and if you feel like I'm speaking to you, you better be checking your own soul right now. He's going to say, depart from me, you worker of iniquity. I never knew you. But Lord, remember, they were religious. But Lord, did we not prophesy in your name? Did we not cast out demons in your name? Did we not do miracles in your name? The Lord said to them, I never knew you. Depart from me. The ones that He let in, They were like oblivious to what their good works. What do you mean, Lord? When did we do all these things? When did we, when you did it unto the least of these, my brethren, you did it unto me. Well done. You're not self-righteous. You're not conscious of your own good works. You're not trying to promote and justify yourself. You just recognize that God is the one that justifies you. He's the one that invites you in. He's the one that promotes you. You're not trying to promote yourself. You're not trying to twist people's arms and make things happen and manipulate in your environment. You just let God do it. That doesn't mean that we don't, as humans, have our own self-interest and our own desire to kind of secure our lives, because God knows we're human. But you have a pattern of always going back and trusting and getting back to a place where you're letting him lead you. Don't try to guide your own life, the light of your own fire. It says you're going to lay down and die if you do that, right? If you light the light of your own fire, you follow the light of your own fire. That's the light of your own conscience or consciousness. You let the light of God's holy fire that led the children of Israel in the wilderness guide you. The fire by night and the cloud by day. You follow his lead. Amen. The light of the world. Anyways, God bless. Guys, God bless. I pray the Lord blesses you and continues to watch over all of us in these days, because they're going to get very intense. And make sure you keep checking back on this channel, promote this channel. The message here is bringing people to Christ, okay? In the midst of the news, there's always the good news. This news that we're watching is going to get worse and darker and more evil as the days go on. I can tell you right now, we're about to see a big drop off a cliff. Economically, militarily, civilly, socially, I think everything is going to go into chaos here pretty soon, the way I see it. So pray that it doesn't, but at the same time, you better prep like it's going to. And I say prep in every way. Your heart is the most important prep. All right, God bless. Guys, we'll talk to you soon. Have a great night. The Lord bless you. The Lord keep you. Lord make his face shine upon you. Be gracious to you and give you peace in Christ